Airing on Aromia 11. Today we have a very special episode where we are talking all things tech. That's right, you heard it first. NBC, Google, and a few other partners are coming together with the Urban League Twin Cities to offer some really important programs for the community at large. This is going to be a good episode with a really interesting gentleman, something you won't want to miss. Stay tuned. Thank you for joining me, Eric. I'm so excited to have you here on behalf of the Urban League Twin Cities. Can you talk to me about the program that you are here representing as well as your organization?
Certainly, Anna. Thank you so much for having us. It's great. This is wonderful. We are running a program called the Urban Tech's Jobs Program, and we put a little 2.0 after it. And it's like, well, where did the 2.0 come from? Our original Urban Tech's Jobs Program 1.0 was through a grant from the Department of Labor. So it was a federal funded program. It was an initiative to try to diversify the tech field because of the fact that there were not many people of color working in technology jobs. And so with that being said, we started an IT Institute and invited people to our building. We set up computer labs and said, listen, we can train you in IT. And so we did that successfully. And after that initiative was done, here came 2.0, which we are doing now through a partnership with Google and NBC Television, Universal Comcast.
That's nothing to blow your nose at. Those are two really large industry heavy hitters.
Yes. We are excited. They came at a different angle. Whereas the Department of Labor wanted to diversify the tech field and bring more of the community of color in there, primarily Black folks, people of African descent. But Google came with a different twist, and they said, we would like you to focus on bridging the gap between the digital divide with people who don't have access to technology. And you think, well, who doesn't have access to a smartphone or a computer? There's so many people that don't have access to those devices, and then bridging them over to give them opportunity to have access to it, and not only doing that, but train them so that they can literally use and utilize it in the workforce.
Now, for those that are unfamiliar, can you talk about the work of the Urban League Twin Cities for people that may not even know what we're talking about?
The Urban League?
Yes.
You're talking about the Urban League.
Right.
So the Urban League, our National Urban League, is the headquarter office. It is a organization that started, I believe, it's been over 100 years ago. They are strongly wanting, just to sort of put it into a nutshell, we want Black people to prosper. Period. Black and brown people have prosperity. Why can't everybody have the same equality?
Absolutely.
In getting wealth, in getting jobs, in education, in healthcare? And so those are the primary pillars that we operate in working with children. We work with adults who need jobs or maybe even skills to learn a job. Healthcare in the areas of being able to know exactly what exists in that arena, and wealth, anything dealing with money. So it's federally funded. A lot of federal funds are coming in through that. But what the National Urban League has done throughout the years is they've allowed affiliates in the different states of the U.S. To be able to participate. And so they opened up an affiliation. And so we have about 95 affiliates, and us being in Minnesota, we have one. So, and that's the Urban League Twin Cities.
That is beautiful. In being a Minnesotan myself, I'm very aware of the work of ULTC and how they have always kept their finger on the pulse of the needs of the community,
Yes.
offering initiatives that support that support us in all the ways that we need. So when I hear about the initiative coming forth around IT support, when IT is such a booming industry,
oh my gosh.
it's like we really are setting up the community for success in such a beautiful way and advancing, I think, our skill set beyond what we even seen for ourselves. There's such a limited group, like you said, in IT that look like you and I. So to give the community at large the exposure to do this seems so beautiful and so important.
I love it. I'm sitting in my dream because it is really exciting and innovating to be able to see somebody come in and say, I don't know what to do in life. I don't, I've worked in the warehouse, I've done this, I've done that, but I don't just want a job, I want a career. And so then we assess them and say, listen, do you like to fix things on your own? Are you a YouTuber that likes to okay, the toilet broke down. I can't afford to hire a plumber, but maybe I can go to YouTube and find something and, oh, that's easy. I can do it myself.
Absolutely.
That's IT, right? We can train you to do things yourself. And once they get that light bulb that goes off in their head, like, aha, then we put them in classes, right? People are able to have access to classes and learn it and then be linked to employers for employment. And now it's no longer just a job, it's an actual career that they can retire from.
I think it's so important that we are starting to see ourselves, like we just talked about, in these different roles, but also that we're starting to reimagine what a career opportunity looks like. There's been so many pivots throughout COVID, like we were talking about people, shifting in education, in the way that they were living their lives because of this big this big shift that happened to the world at large.
Right.
And it's like, but no, when we came out of this, so many people were either in another industry or had received extra education. And it's like, you can make the pivot if you want to. You don't have to. We're not in the generation of where you get a job and you work there until you pass away. You can actually jump from something else if you want to, and it can create so many other opportunities going forward.
True. Very true. And I also see it as an opportunity to explore, because how many people really know what their passion in life is? Mm-hmm. How many people really know, what is my purpose in life? I can do the traditional pathway of what it may be education after a certain level, post-education, going, it's like, oh, now it's time to checklist. I should be married perhaps by now, or maybe we should be starting a family, and, oh, no, is it too late for me to get a house? Mm-hmm. But breaking away from what other people say you should do and developing your own identity and say, what do I want to do? And actually pursue it. And that's where the Urban League comes in, because you can come into the Urban League and we can sit down and assess that with you and hear what your dreams and aspirations. And if we don't offer it where we are direct, we can resource you to somebody that may be able to help you.
That's wonderful. Now, you are program manager over at the Urban League Twin Cities. Can you talk to me about your personal connection in this work and how you see yourself getting up and either getting on Zoom or heading into the office every day? What fuels that for you?
Success through others. I see other people be successful and help them on the journey to success. That is where my fire goes, because if, how many times do we wake up in the morning and there is no, I hate to say it, but where's the hope? You turn on the news and people are getting shot up all over the place, mm-hmm. or being directly murdered because of the color of their skin. And the Dow Jones going down and all this negativity, it's hard to look through the cloud to see the sun. And if you look at a large scale of what happens in the world, then it's easy to get lost in that cloud and say, well, everything out there seems to be dark and gray. So I'm going to have, that's going to surround me too. Mm-hmm. And that's not real. you're watching a specific thing on television that's, very depressing. And yes, there are some things that are tragedies. I'm not knocking that, but you can't put yourself and say that I have to follow that negative, atmosphere. But I can break out and be an individual, and I can be successful. And maybe I don't know how to do it or where to do it, but we're telling you right now. Come to the Urban League Twin Cities or the Urban League in whatever place you are. There might be an affiliate in your area. And overseas, I'm sure there's some type of resource there that will sit down and say, let's talk about this together. And let's take away the screen of darkness and let's see where your light shines.
I think it's true that the Urban League is providing hope.
Yeah, it's hope. It's hope. And that's where my job, that's how I connect with that role. As program manager, is to see the hope in people come alive, and seeing their hope builds the synergy of my hope.
Now let's give people a little bit more hope. Let's talk about requirements for the program for people to participate.
I'm going to start off this way by saying to go to IT school is extremely expensive, just like education in general. It can be tens of thousands of dollars and thousands of dollars to just take one class, because you're building a skill that is very unique and specific. Mm-hmm. So I would say a class is easily $15,000 per class.
Wow.
However, you ask, how can you get in? And if we're trying to give hope to people and they're saying, well, you just told me there's $15,000. Well, I might as well turn on another channel and see some more doom and gloom, because I don't have that kind of money. And that's where the hope comes in. I'm going to tell you right now, the hope comes in to the point and the fact that you come to the Urban League Twin Cities and you want to get in IT school, you don't have to pay a dime.
It's free.
Free, no cost. That's why we have wonderful partners like Google and the others, Comcast, because they have hope for our communities. And so we are able to provide full ride scholarships into our institute.
You have to say that last part again, because I don't think people actually.
You don't think they heard?
I don't think
what
they heard.
What camera should I look at?
A full ride scholarship.
You are able to get a full ride scholarship in our institute. I tell people, don't even bring a penny. You don't even have to bring your purse. You don't have to bring anything, because we provide it all. Right. And not only that, we will train you into the skill set of your passion. We're not going to, whether they take a square peg and put it in a round hole, mm-hmm. It don't fit. We're going to put you in an area that fits your character and your personality, because there's so many different pathways in IT that you can get into. And once we've determined what that is, then we will set you up not only for the classes that are at no cost, but also for the certifications. You will earn, by taking the class and doing everything it tells you to do, passing the exam, a industry recognized certification. What that means is this. Once you get an industry recognized certification, notice the word industry is in there and the word recognize, yes. Which means you can move anywhere in the world. We're not giving a certificate that only is good for the neighborhood that we are in. It's, you can move anywhere in the world, mm-hmm. and they'll look and say, oh, you've got that certification? Come on in. You can be in North America, South America, you can be in Europe, wherever. Africa, you can be anywhere. And they will recognize those certifications and you can get a job. So again, at no cost. The testing itself is extremely expensive. Don't worry about it. We've got you.
Now, aside of not having to pay any money, can we talk just a little bit about what the application process looks like? And is there anything people need to bring along with them to take care of the application?
Certainly. Great question. So just like you would do for, let's say, an institution like a college or so, there is going to be an application process. And the application primarily is just getting your information, how we can contact you, some of your background, what was the highest level of education that you ended. All we are asking that at least you have a GED.
Okay.
And a high school diploma. That's all we're saying. And why is that required? Well, we want to see that you can complete something that you start in high school. That's going to be your first test.
True.
Right?
Very true.
And then we'll ask for that information. And then outside of that, just your ID to tell us that who you are is really who you say you are. And voila, you've got it.
I think we hear that there is job opportunity in IT, and these are the community partners, these are the bigwigs, so to speak. And so if I don't get a job with them, I'm missing an opportunity. And that's not true. There's literally an IT department in almost every arena, every industry that there is. The church you go to, your kid's school, the bank, all these different places have somebody that's running the IT for them. And if you're interested in that person potentially being you, I think this sounds like a wonderful opportunity.
It's a wonderful opportunity. Think, as you just said, like a church or something like that, or any place that even has a microphone system, that soundboard. It's computerized now. Cars are becoming computerized.
Absolutely.
Buses are becoming computerized. And they even have some delivery. I think we have a place called Domino's Pizza. I think they even advertise they have a driverless delivery car. So it's like, well, that's a car. Where's IT come in that? What happens when the car breaks down? It's a computer. That's IT.
That's true.
It's all IT. So yes, the onboarding process, the registration process is extremely easy. Then what we'll do is we will give you an assessment. And the assessment, I'm going to say, is rather hard. I say that on purpose to give people a break because there's no pass or fail. It's just allowing us to see the level of technology that you may not realize that you already know. And as you take this assessment, it's going to determine and see what your makeup is, what you know, what you don't know. And it will say, oh, this person knows this portion of this, and they know this portion of this. And there's some cognitive, psychological pieces in there as well. And it'll say, and their brain functions like this. This is the type of IT they should have, that they should learn. And then we pair you up with that. So it's really great. Another component is once you are registered and you receive your full ride scholarship, then you're linked with a village of support, a whole village community of support, which consists of a career coach, which is like your career counselor, who's going to make sure that your classes and everything that you need and any questions that you have or any problems that you may face, all of that is going to be taken care of. They hold your hand through the whole process. So you always have your career coach to call on. We also have a life coach. And the life coach, this person is going to take care of any barriers that you may be facing while you go to school. Granted, many people that come through our institute already have families, have children, right? And they're already working full-time jobs somewhere. They're trying to get out of that job and have a career in a new field. And something may happen. Their car might break down, or maybe they're behind in their mortgage or their rent or whatever it may be. Any kind of barriers that are coming up in your life. Our life coach is there to take those, to help you with your burden and try to find resolution. So you are successful, because the number one focus and fact that we have for you is what? You are successful. In any way that we can be there to cheer you on, we are there to do that. And that's where that village of support comes. Once you come out of your class, gain and earn your certification, then you are and graduate. We have full-fledged graduations as well. Once you graduate, you're linked with our employment specialist, who has a portfolio of employers that are looking to hire our graduates. So if cybersecurity was your skill set that you were trained through the Institute, you'll be linked with our employment specialists who will have cybersecurity jobs waiting for you.
Wonderful.
Prepare you for the interview. Get you all polished. What? You don't have a suit? You don't have, a certain type of attire to wear to an interview? No worries. We'll take care of that. Make sure you're outfitted and look really good for your interview as well.
I think it's beautiful to not only hear that there is somebody holding your hand from the beginning, but all the way through the process, and then somebody supporting you well after that to make sure that you can not only get the job, but keep and maintain said job.
Retention, we do. So the retention component is once you're in the job, we're like, we can just be frank here. They treating you right over there?
Right.
Right? You know, 90% may not be people of color in there. Now you're in there, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're trying to, diversify that industry. They treating you right? Any problems? You liking it? Do you like what you're doing? And if you don't, if there's problems, we will advocate for you. We will talk to the employer and say, listen, this is what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. On the flip side, we talk to the employer.
Yeah.
How are they working out? Is there any other things that they need to know? Is there anything that we can help you with? Is there another certification that will give them a promotion that we can help with? So we're there to advocate on both sides of the spectrum to make sure it's a successful match for everyone.
Now, what would you say is the hope of the Urban League Twin Cities and your amazing team at the end of this, once you look back at all the people that have graduated and all the people that have passed?
Our mission is to unapologetically, relentlessly help the African descent community. And where the Urban League can stretch itself and sit up straight and say, oh my gosh, how many people went through the Institute? How many of those people have jobs? How many people got new homes because they went through our home buyers? How many people are living in those homes? How many people, their executives where? And they got their start where? It's the outcomes. Mm-hmm. That's the mission, the success of the community. And that's how the Urban League will be able to say, well done. But we have more work to do. We have to continue going on and finding other areas, other gaps that are out there that are in the underserved communities as well. What can we do to make life better around the whole, I'm going to say the whole nation, because of the fact that we're not the only affiliate, but there's people all over.
Now, for those that are not able to attend the program or say, I actually don't have any interest in IT, but I am interested in supporting the work of Urban League Twin Cities. How can we do that? How can we come along inside you guys and do that?
Well, the great thing is that you can become a member, a partner of the Urban League. And maybe you'll say, I don't have need for those things, but I have a heartbeat for it. Can I give financial resources to help? Mm-hmm. So to carry on the program, because Google's not funding the whole Urban League, right? It's only a portion of it. So we do have programs that we look for the support of our viewers and our listeners and those that are in the community and corporations as well, to be able to give. We're a nonprofit organization, so there is definitely a tax write-off if you do give. But if you do that, if you want to give, all you need to do is contact the Urban League. We're at 2100 Plymouth Avenue North in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55411. Or you can call us at 612-302-3100. And we would love to talk to you and see how you can support. And maybe it's not financial. Maybe you just want to volunteer and come in and help. There's a lot of opportunities to volunteer. We have great events that happen throughout the year as well. So
very much so.
Definitely.
Now, for anybody that wants to stay connected, we are a big fan of that in promoting any way that can happen. Can you provide us with any social media handles, websites, or any contact person's information so that we can stay in the loop and start to come to some of the amazing events you guys have? I know summer is a definite time for some amazing programming out at ULTC.
Yes. So we are located on Facebook. We're under Urban League Twin Cities. Just go to Facebook, type that in, Urban League Twin Cities, and there we are. You can also go to Instagram as well under Urban League Twin Cities, and you might as well go to YouTube as well. You can certainly go there. YouTube is really not up and running like that. You're going to find us more on Facebook and more on Instagram, LinkedIn as well, Urban League Twin Cities, and then you will be able to help to find us. If you want to go to our website, it's the first letter of each part of our name. So it's Urban League Twin Cities. It'll be ULTC, and then we're in Minnesota, so it's MN, ULTCMN.org. And you can pull it up, and there's phone numbers in there and resources to contact as well.
Wonderful. Lastly, can you look directly in that camera and just talk to somebody that's interested in not only taking that step to maybe look for another job or join the program that we've talked about today, but that's ready to make some changes for themselves and that of their families? Can you kind of compel them or give them a word of support?
I'd love to. Listen, life can get better. And I know many of you are probably struggling. I can identify with that. Even with just identity of what you're here for and what you want to do. And maybe you're tired of being tired and you're looking for hope. There is divine hope for you. And I guarantee you, if you reach out to the Urban League Twin Cities, we have people there that will talk with you and help you through whatever that struggle is, in the area of education, in the area of skill set training through workforce, in the area of finance as well, in the area, of course, as we say, education, and even in the area that you are a small business and you've always wanted to have a space to have your business outside of your home, we have office space available at a really good price because we want to help community small businesses, that you can come to the Urban League and get that hope. And as I said, we may not have the answer to everything, but we can refer you to someone that does. Even if you need expungement off your record, we have resources that can help you with that as well. And if you're looking for just a new trade, we do have the trades. You can get in construction in different areas and join the union trades. We also have that area as well that we focus on the trades. So we're here. All you need to do is call, and we're there to answer. 612-302-3100. We're here for you. Keep up hope. Keep hope alive. It's there for you. It's there for me. It's there for all of us. Why not take advantage and seek it out? There you go.
Thank you, Eric, for joining me today, and thank you for your amazing work at the Urban League Twin Cities and for sharing with us just a little bit about this initiative.
Thank you so much, Anna, and thank you for this wonderful station. I'm just amazed at the wonderful things that you're doing, and for the community. We're all one, all wanting to build each other up.
Absolutely.
And I thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. A special thank you to Eric Howell and his amazing team at the Urban League Twin Cities. For those of you interested, please go to the link that we'll be providing at the end of this episode so that you can find out the information necessary to join the class and begin your career in IT. This is a booming industry with so many opportunities, something you really won't want to miss out on. I want to say thank you to you for watching, and I look forward to connecting again with you soon.